The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
The esteemed Reb Chaim Volozhiner was learning in the Beis Medrash with a number of his Talmidim and his colleagues, and they came across a tremendous difficulty in a sugya, a deep, difficult kasha that seemed unsolvable. And they worked on it, and they harved it, and they put in time and effort, and they just couldn't get a solution. Reb Chaim told them, listen, maybe tomorrow we'll be b'zeicha to get it. Tomorrow morning we reconvene. We're going to try to work on this sugya, and hopefully HaKadosh Baruch Hu will open our eyes to understanding this complex, difficult shaila. That night while Reb Chaim slept, he had a dream. And in his dream, a fellow that had passed away not that long ago came to him. Now this fellow was a big Toimich Torah. He supported Reb Chaim Volozhiner's yeshiva. He supported many of the people there. He was a tremendous Torah supporter. He was not a particularly learned fellow. He was not a Talmid Chacham. Yet in the dream, he comes to Reb Chaim and he says to him, you had a difficulty, you had this and this shaila and this complex aspect of the sugya. Reb Chaim says, yes. Why are you here? What's happening? And he says to him, I came here to give you a solution. He says, tomorrow, when you wake up from this dream, I want you to go check out this Mara Makam, this particular source. You'll learn it through carefully and you'll see it resolves everything. Reb Chaim says to him, I don't get it. What's happening? In your lifetime, you couldn't hold this part of this conversation. You were barely a learned person at best. And you're giving us this brilliant answer. How's that even possible? And the fellow said to him, I want you to know something. Because I was machzik Torah, because I supported those people that were learning Torah, the yeshiva, the people that were involved in learning Torah, when I came to the Bezdin Shalmala, I had an equal part in their Torah, and not just an equal part in the schus of achzakas HaTorah, of supporting Torah, but I also acquired their Torah knowledge. Just today we were learning this sugya in the Bezdin, the yeshiva Shalmala, and the yeshiva up in heaven, and we came across this difficulty, and I had permission to come and to share it with you. And Reb Chaim woke up the next morning and he looked at this makar, he looked at this source, and it was revolutionary. It changed everything. He was able to be miyashiv the sugya. He was able to explain the difficulty in the sugya. And he shared with his talmidim, with his chavrusas, with his peers. He said to them, the most incredible thing happened. This man came to me and he was ignorant, but at the same time he was able to give this to us because he was machzik Torah, because he supported Torah. He had the Torah knowledge in the world to come. I want to share with you a fascinating thing. Do you know that a fellow from New York, I happen to know his name, went over to Rabbi Ovadia Yosef's son, and he said to him, I have a tremendous amount of money, and I want to help support the kollel, Yichaveh Dat. There was a big kollel. I want to help support that kollel, but I have a condition. I want your father to give me, it will be like Yisachar Zevulun. I'll support the kollel, and your father will give me the schar of his learning. So Rabbi Ovadia's son said, I'm not comfortable talking to my father about this. There's shtickle chutzpah to talking about that. But the guy pestered him and eventually went to his father. And he said to him, he's willing to support the kollel if you give him part of your learning. And Rabbi Ovadia says, it doesn't make any sense. That's not Yisachar Zevulun. If he wants, I'll do Yisachar Zevulun with him. He'll support me, and I'll take the money, and the schus of my Torah will go to him. Abba, his son said to him, but what's going to be with the money? He goes, I'm not going to keep the money. I'm going to give the money to kollel Yichaveh Dat. So what's going to happen? I'm going to get the schus of achzakas HaTorah. So the son timidly went back to this kavir. He says, my father wants to have an arrangement. You'll give him the money, and then he could do once the money. He says, once you're giving him the money, you'll get the schar of being the Yisachar. And then my father wants to take the money and donate that money to kollel Yichaveh Dat so that he could get the schus of achzakas HaTorah. And the gavir, the wealthy person, said, okay. They went over to Rabbi Ovadia's house. Rabbi Ovadia drew up a contract that delineated exactly this arrangement. And for a while, the fellow used to give a check to Rabbi Ovadia every single month, a large check. Rabbi Ovadia, as the agreement stated, gave his learning, the schus of his learning, to this fellow, and Rabbi Ovadia supported Yeshivat Yichaveh Dat. After Rabbi Ovadia was nifter, the family went back and they said, we want to see that copy. It's so inspiring to us. He couldn't find it anywhere. It seems like it disappeared along the death of Rabbi Ovadia. Rabbi Ovadia was easy to this. Rabbi Ovadia realized it doesn't diminish his learning at all. And on the contrary, he has this incredible opportunity to have that schus of supporting all these young light to our learning.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org